Good afternoon. Just a brief Bible study, if you don't mind. Again, I am Pastor Charles Johnson, Pastor Rescue Mission Baptist Church, 4305 Indiana Avenue. Amen. And today we're looking at Psalms number 40. And in Psalms number 40, our writer is David. We know that David was a man after God's own heart. And David here in our text says, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. Now, when David wrote this, David had been going through some trouble, and we don't know exactly what the trouble is, because we know that David had many troubles. And David had a wife who didn't believe in praising God. David had a son by the name of Absalom who tried to overthrow him. We don't know what the trouble was going on with David, but all we know is in Psalms number 40, David says, I waited patiently for the Lord. And in verse number 1, when you see that word waited there, it means continually. And it actually in the original language, it says, in waiting, I waited. That means David didn't just wait for a minute. He says it is a continual. It was a continual wait. He said, I waited patiently for the Lord. And sometimes, my brothers and sisters, when you're going through life's crisis, what you have to do is stand and wait for the Lord. Because if you're a child of God, you know that God is going to see you through. Amen. And David said, and the Lord, he inclined unto me. Now that word inclined there, my brothers and sisters, meant the Lord bowed down and put his ear to my mouth as if I was a child, and he would bow down to me to hear me. And he said, and he inclined unto me, and he heard my cry. God hears the cries of his children. God knows all, and he sees us when we're going through many difficult situations. And my brothers and sisters, I just want to tell someone out there that God is hearing you today. It may seem like no one else hears you, but God hears you. You keep making your prayer requests known unto the Lord, and God will hear you. Amen. God will see you through. David says he brought me up also out of an horrible pit, out of the miry clay. Now that miry clay that David is talking about here is referred to as like quicksand. And so God can pick you up out of a terrible situation. God can lift you up out of a horrible pit. God can do this for you, my brothers and sisters. All you have to do is trust him and try him and take him at his word. He said he brought me up out of the miry clay and set my feet up on a rock. Now notice what God has done here. He brought you out of quicksand and placed you on a rock. And God placed David on a solid foundation. Amen. Because whenever God delivers you, he is going to deliver you and place you in a place where he can see you through. Amen. Amen. And he established my goings. And David says, I love this in verse number 3, and we're closing out here. He said, he have put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our God. And when God delivers you, oh, you will have a joyful song to sing. When God delivers you, you will know that it was God that delivered you, so you can give him some praise right now in the middle of your situation. Give him some praise right now in the middle of your circumstance, because God is going to see you through. Amen. God is going to bless you. God is going to keep you. And amen. Thank you for listening. Amen. As we have been studying Psalms number 40, just remember that God is there for you.